Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. I have been looking for something. I've been working on the carb and I've been looking for something. I can't find it. It's my welding tip, wires for poking out welding tips. Can't find them. Anyway, while I was looking for it, I found a micro switch. There's a micro switch. I also found some small, battery clamps. So I thought, why not make a mechanic's switch, or a loser switch as Mortsky calls it. So I've got the switch, got some wire, got some braided stuff. So let's try it on the Thunderbird. Okay, I might need a bit longer wire on it. Now I think this is the one. Hang on then, let's put the ignition on. Because it's always awkward leaning in. It works. Just work, look, watch. Good, isn't it? Oops, you don't want to do that though, obviously. It's like industrial micro switch. Good quality, How neat is that? I imagine you could use it on a Ford as well. Yeah, early Ford. That's just a quickie, isn't it? You didn't need to see how I wired it up, it's just simple. But look, the Thunderbird started and ran virtually straight away. That's good, isn't it? Okay, back in a bit. I thought I'd just try that switch. It's good, that, isn't it? Turn the engine off. The ignition is off. Oh, that's funny, isn't it? The ignition's off. Is the ignition off? Let me check. Yeah, the ignition's off. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's something you need to be careful of. It's putting power to the coil when you press the switch. Yeah. If you were to hold the switch in, which wouldn't probably do the starter motor a lot of good, yeah, it'd keep running, wouldn't it? So that's something you need to be careful about. So what that would mean is you would need to disconnect this wire here, I think. Let's try that. Ready? Yeah, okay. Let's just see if the ignition, see if it fires through the ballast. Should do, shouldn't it? Because it's already been run. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, let's put that back on. Click. Here you go, just a little, I was going to say 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, half hour mess about. But yeah, that might come in handy. I'll put that in my electrical toolbox. Okay, thanks for joining me in the garage. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Cheers then, bye. Animal alert. Playing ball with herself, well, that's good, isn't it? Hello, Rube. You gonna say hello? Come and say hello. Oh. No, she's not gonna say hello. She set Maggie off now, look. Alright, there's a good girl. Come on then. Come on then. I don't think she likes my gloves and glasses. What's the matter? Come here. Don't be silly. There's a good girl. She woofed at me when I went in the house, actually. A bit less teeth, please. A bit less teeth. That's better. Go on then, let go. Let go. Ready? Yeah. Maggie's not very good at playing ball. She doesn't give you the ball. I think Ruby's the same. Come on then. Come on. Give me the ball. Come on then. There's a good girl. Yeah, she's preempted it, look, by going down there. Ready? Not the most sort of natural ball fetcher. Oh, she needs a wee now. I need to cut the grass as well. Okay, we'll leave it there then. Righto. Thanks for joining me in the garage then. That's ice, that is, isn't it? Put the ignition on again. Got a bit of a hair trigger, you don't have to press it much. Saves stretching and reaching round to the key. Brilliant. Okay, thanks for joining me in the garage. Take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye. Okay, I've just fitted the original metering block and the original float bowl. I've had one more go at blowing all the holes out in the metering block, but now it's got the new plugs in. I wondered, you know, is it worth just trying to give it one more go now that everything else is okay? And I've got my mechanics button to turn the engine over. Okay, let's give that a try. Watch the fuel in the thing there. Good squirt. Worryingly, once again it still runs with the mixture screws in. It actually sounds slightly better with both mixture screws right the way in. So what does that mean? But at least it does actually run with that original metering block in place. interesting. I tightened up those screws a bit more and it stopped, which might be significant. It was running. I'm just kind of trying to sum it up for myself. It was running, but with both screws closed off, and then when I tightened up the bowl screws, it must have shut off whatever leak passage there was, or stopped a vacuum leak internally that was allowing the power valve. The power valve probably wasn't being sucked closed by the vacuum. And when I tightened up the bowl screws, it must have closed off that vacuum leak or whatever it was, and then it now depends on the screws, although I can turn one of them off, but I can't screw both of them off. But that's actually the first time I've had it running nicely like that, with the original metering block and the original bowl. Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, I saw a guy do that on a video. You know, you've got the level there and then you rock the car and it comes out. So that's not leaking now, but it did when I rocked the car, so that's okay. Before I turned the camera on, I took the two plugs out of the top of the carb, of the metering block. Before I turned the camera on, I took the two plugs out the top of the metering block, and I blew the metering block out, every hole that I could find, using this. But the difference was, this is brake cleaner. I swapped this top that has a tube on. That's the original top. So with this tube, it was much better for getting the spray into all the passages. With that one, it was just kind of flooding the whole thing. With this one, it was pressurising it into the passages, and I think that has made a difference. I could be wrong, I don't know, but yeah, I think that's okay. And that's certainly happy enough, isn't it? When I first started it, I had the idle screws at 1.5, so they were making it rich, and the leak was making it over rich. And when I opened the secondary manually, the revs went up. In other words, it liked the extra air from the secondaries. Bear in mind, there's no fuel on the secondary butterflies. But now, if I open the secondaries, it'll kill it. Oh, an initial rise, so it's still slightly rich. And then it kills it. Yeah, okay. I've turned the idle screws in just a little bit. They're about 1/4 of a turn open now. And when I just moved the secondary then, it didn't lift up so much, it kind of killed it straight away. Okay, let's leave it a minute and try a through the window cold wall motors restart. You know, no pumping. I'm going to look at cleaning out this metering block and then this secondary metering block. That's half a turn out on both screws. And that's idling in drive. Got a handbrake on and a shock under the wheel. So I'd say that's pretty good, to be honest. The fan looks slower in the camera than it is in real life. I do want to tighten up the fan belt though. Cool, okay, right. Thanks very much for joining me in the garage. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. There's 4 brass plugs taken out using my little easy out thing. And that's where they go. And you can see there's a hole down that one. And the drilling coming in from the side, I think. Yeah, that drilling goes in from there. There's the hole on this side. Just blew it. You can see that drilling coming in on the side there. These ones are just plain holes right the way down to the bottom. And on some carbs, including that other metering plate that I've got, there's an emulsion tube in there, but this carb doesn't have emulsion tubes. And there is a hole, and at the bottom of that hole is a much smaller hole. You have to make sure that that's not blocked. There you can see the smaller hole, look. And there's the hole there from the power valve. And there, you have to clean those out. Some of these aren't drilled in this one because this is a secondary. So for instance, although it looks like it, there's no provision for an idle screw there. Okay, righto. This will get, I've cleaned this up then, and I'll just give it another little clean here and there, and this can go back on. I've got to assemble up the float chamber. There it is, there's the float chamber. That needs those parts putting into it. So I'll do that all off camera, you don't need to see me do that. There are plenty of videos of people stripping and rebuilding Hollies. I've been looking at them and picking up a few hints and tips here and there. Just go and watch them. They're pretty good, to be honest. So here we go, there's my secondary metering block. The jets are down there. I'll put a new power valve in and assemble it up. Okay, back in a bit then. Look, the rag, she is gone. Found the pipe, put it on, put some new O-rings in. I cleaned all this out, put it on, screwed it on. That's got fuel in it now, that secondary side. I just went with the one gasket there just to test it, and it seems to be idling okay. If I open the secondary side manually, it does keep running. Beyond an initial hesitance, because there isn't an accelerator pump, but that was running then, wasn't it? I don't know when the vacuum secondaries would come in. Well, I know when you're accelerating and you start developing vacuum, don't you, as you've kind of run out of the limits of the primaries. So yeah, so I just don't know now. Well, rather that's running. When I was trying to get this car running like this 30 years ago, just think about it, there was no internet. There was just magazines and books and things. It was hard to find the information about the passages and everything. But in my own way, I managed to get it running by swapping on parts from a different carb. And now, 30 years later, I've got it running how it should have been. The only thing that isn't on there is the choke, but I'm quite pleased with that. Seems okay. Sounds like it might be slightly rich. I think out on the street when it's just in normal use and being run, it'll be better than just idling here. Okay, I'll knock it off for now. I want to fit this thing. Trouble is, I'm not sure where I put the screw. And you can adjust it like that. Okay, I'll go and find the screw then. Don't know where to put that. The trouble is I moved everything, didn't I? That was a mistake. I found the screw for that thing. Well, rather, I found a screw that fitted. So put that on. The trouble is I've just squirted it and it squirted a load of fuel in, so I need to just start it to burn it off. Seems okay. I think I had it adjusted out of the way before, but I'll just put it so it has some sort of action. Okay, good. Quite pleased with my efforts today. It's a little bit late for, it's not late, but it's like the rush hour now. So it's a bit late to go for a road test. Okay, righto. Back in a bit then. What do you reckon the chances are of me being able to fit the choke mechanism? I've got the choke pieces here, some of them. I've kind of freed it up a bit. It seems to work on some sort of differential vacuum from these two pipes here. That one there, where does it go, in there or there? That one rides against that, doesn't it? That there. I suppose all I can do is just offer it in place and see where I get. I don't know what's supposed to be connected to that there. If anything, maybe nothing. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I think I've got the idea now. So that goes through there, but then goes under there. Yeah. I think I'll just offer it in place and see how it looks. I'll bring it back when there's more to show. I was thinking somewhere there's got to be a spring. There it is. I was thinking somewhere there's got to be a spring. There's the bimetallic spring. Okay. So that's what gets hot. That gets hot and then starts to probably go that way. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that for now, and I'll come back when I'm fresh. So I'll bring it back when there's more to show. But for now, thanks very much for joining me in the garage. Take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye. Hello. On my table in the conservatory, I have a carburetor. And this carburetor was donated to me by a gentleman called Don. Thank you very much, Don. I really appreciate it. As you can see, it's a Holly. I believe it's a 4150, and this is very, very similar to the one on my Thunderbird. And there are a few things on it straight away that I can see that I can use. I don't have this stud, so that's handy. This has obviously been modified. The choke mechanism, although it's got this piece missing and this piece has been mangled, might be very useful to me, because I've been struggling to get mine working, and I can see that this one, when it's open, is all the way down. So there's something in this mechanism that's different to mine, and it might just be that that rod is bent on mine or isn't bent on this one, or something to do with that. So that's something that's different. And the other this piece here isn't fitted to mine. I don't know if I've got it in a drawer somewhere. Like I say, I stripped my carb down 30 odd years ago, but this piece of tubing is the correct piece, and that's useful as well. It has the metering blocks. I've been having a lot of trouble with my metering blocks, so I'm hoping that if I do need a spare, there's one on here. But what I can see, and it's really hard to show, but down here, can you see that piece that I'm moving up and down? There's a weight on the end of it, and that isn't there on mine. And I've been working on mine, trying to free it up so it works, and mine doesn't have that weight. So straight away there's something there that tells me, well, I need this part here, this little part. And my choke housing here is blocked on the inside. I'm hoping this one might not be blocked. You just don't know, do you? But you know, gotta have parts. The screws don't appear terribly mangled. There is a little burr on that one, so I don't think this has been taken apart a million times like mine has. So Don, thank you very much for the donation of the carb. Don's friend Mark, who works with him in Stoke, he brought it down from Stoke to Tipton near Birmingham. So I drove up there this morning and picked it up from Tipton. So Mark, thank you very much as well. Okay, so there's my parts carb, or a spare carb. That's very useful. There's parts on there straight away that I can see that I need. Okay, I thought I'd just show you that and thank Mark and Don for getting it to me. Cheers then. On my table I've got a Holly 4-barrel that was kindly donated to me by a gentleman called Don. I'm going to do a preliminary tear down. I'm not going to tear it all down, but I'm going to have a look at it, make a judgment of the condition of the various pieces, and then work out if I want to substitute pieces from this onto mine. Let's start by taking off some of the things like this that are going to be in the way. Snap-on. Anniversary edition this is. I normally show it like that before I open a tin of paint with it. Got to feed the trolls. I must say, to be honest, my channel tends not to get much in the way of trolling, but you just don't get that many, you know. Looks okay, doesn't it? Looks like homemade gaskets, maybe. Well, that's interesting. That's got a little dowel on it. Mine hasn't got that. I wonder if they were using that and that, you know, to position the float bowl. That's the same as mine, but there's a spring missing there and a clip. Oh, this is interesting. The original manuals show like a plunger and a spring, and you can see that down there. But other than that, it's complete. This looks like it's been soldered on here, or soldered if you like. Various sort of bits of skullduggery, kludgery. Obviously I don't need all this, so that's okay. There's a power valve there, doesn't appear to be a washer behind it. Might just take this out completely. Idle screws are in place. I think that's the same as the one on mine. There's the vacuum pipe. I might be able to use that or use the fittings. Okay, I'm rounding that off, so, but I do need that fitting there. I might have one in a drawer somewhere, but I do need one of those. I'll go and saw this off. Don't quite know what was done there. It's supposed to be just an O-ring. Wouldn't try to use that again, it's probably quite badly shrunk. I don't know how long ago it was when this was last used. Oh, that's good. See that piece there? That's missing on mine. So I've got one now. Bit of a vague sort of old fuel sort of smell. Again, that's got a little dowel there. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Again, can't see a gasket on that one. Don said that this came off a 312. Well, there is a gasket. There is some sort of a gasket on there. I feel a bit stiff now, that does.
Obviously no good.
Yeah, they do have some sort of a captive gasket on there. Interesting. This was one of the parts that I was interested in because I can see something different about this than mine already. This has been a bit mangled up here. There's a tiny little clip in there that you have to take out. See that clip there, look. Now this is like a note to self, that this piece here goes above the end of that rod there, That rod goes through the first lever and underneath this piece. Because these pieces on my carb have been off for 30 years plus. And I haven't undone that nut enough, that screw enough, have I? Okay, so that's just hanging on there now. There we go. So that's off. Now the other important thing, you see that piece there? Can you see that big lump of brass? Well, that's like a weight to keep that end down, like, you know, down like that. Well, I've been working on this piece on mine. I haven't filmed a lot of it because I've been struggling, but this piece on mine hasn't got the weight, look. So there was no, it wouldn't have worked because there was no gravity to, nothing for gravity to pull down on. So that's good, so I can use that piece. But I also might be able to use this if it's not blocked up. Mine's blocked up. My screws are also captive. In other words, that piece there is rolled over on mine. So this might be better than mine. Okay. The other thing that I want to look at is the shape of that link there. Is that the same as mine or is that different? Let's take that thing out. I haven't got one of these either. I must have had one years ago, but I haven't got one now. Probably just got, you know, misplaced amongst odd random stuff. Okay, I don't need to strip this because I don't intend to, well, I'm hoping that I don't need the basic body. It might be that I will try and get this working at some point, but I don't need to do it now. Oh, ECZV that says. Mine's at ECZA, but it's list 1273. But this piece here is interesting to me. It's a bit bent. It's a bit bent. But I'm going to take this apart and look to see if it's blocked like mine is. So let's see if we can get this apart. You know, when you're not tripping over these things, it pays to pick up parts wherever you can. That's mine. That's the one that's just come on this carb. That was helpful really, just to be able to see that piece there. Little piston, look. Now this lever's got bent somehow, so that would have made all that bind up. I think what they must have done was sort of convert this to like a manual choke. Just pulling and pushing on that lever there. So that hole there, that hole goes to that cross piece, which goes across to that piece and to the end of this dash pot here. Now I'm going to blow down this hole with the air. Yeah, it's blowing the piston out, look. In other words, this passage is free and clear all the way through to there. This one's been soaking in brake cleaner. This is my original one. I mean, it might be clear now because it's been soaking overnight. You see what I mean about the screws? The screws are captive because this has been over tightened. Can you hear? It's just, there's like a really restricted sounding. Like a really restricted sounding air delivery. See, that's not coming out, that piston, look. It's virtually completely blocked. So that is really useful to me, as is that piece there. I'll give it a scrape off, and then this can go in the ultrasonic cleaner and fitted to my carb. So that's going to be useful to me. That's going to be useful to me. That's going to be useful to me. And these are all good spares, aren't they? That's set ever so low. And these are all probably, I'm hoping, relatively straight. So thanks, Don. That's very useful to me. I don't think I'm going to end up using the whole of it, but certainly parts of it. It might be that this metering block is better than mine, and not so, because I think there's problems in my metering block, although I think I might have got to the bottom of them. But it would be interesting to give this a rudimentary clean and put it on and see if it works just as well as mine does now, which I've spent ages and ages cleaning it. So this piece here, is that the same shape as mine? Okay, you'd have to say they're the same. Because when I offered my choke thing up, it wouldn't pull the flaps right the way off. But that does look the same length, doesn't it, effectively? Okay, right. Time to stop messing with this now. I've got to go and edit a video, otherwise I won't have one for this week. That's great, because the piston assembly goes all the way to the bottom without getting jammed up. The other one in mine was getting jammed up. Call it good at that then. Got some good little bits there. So once again, thank you very much, Don. Thanks, Mark, for couriering it down to me. And thank you all for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. I've just taken this off. This is the vacuum secondary part from this donor carb. And the way to test these, look, this is only what I've learned from you know, looking at videos, is you compress it and then put your finger over that hole and see if it comes back. And it does come back. So this one's no good. So that's prompted me to think, what's the one like on the car? So let's get that one off and have a look at it. Because these diaphragms don't come on the kit. Well, not the kits that I'm able to buy. Yeah, I wouldn't mind betting this one's no good either. It's, you know, it's the original 1957 piece, probably. Again, these screws are captive. That means they've been over tightened. Okay, let's see what happens with this one. Oh, there's some reaction, look. This one's okay. Oh, maybe not. No, this one's no good either. So I'm going to have to get another one of them from somewhere. Okay. Let's take it over the bench and have a look at it. I've been watching a few videos with people, you know, rebuilding the hollies and tuning them. But that's way out of my depth. I'm not interested in that. They're talking about a heavy spring and a light spring, and you use a heavy spring in a, would it be a heavy car, or I don't know. So there's some sort of a ball there, look, a check ball. Which has just come out. Can't see a hole in it, but I'll see what's available. I might have to pay through the nose for one. So look at the other one. There's a spring. I spent a bit too much on parts because I bought more gasket kits than I needed. None of them have this part in it. I imagine in the States where you got better availability, you can get decent kits which have those parts in. Oh no. Yeah, I think mine's in better condition than this. That ball's all crusted up on this one, look. So in this instance my parts were in better condition. This is off a slightly newer carb because it's got Phillips screws there. But you can sort of, if you cover that up, you can hear it leaking somewhere. Just got another one. When you press this one, you see there? Hang on. It's hard to show it, but there's a leak. Do you see that? So in other words, this diaphragm is probably okay, but it just needs sealing better. Ah, now look, see there, look. See there's a hole in a thing. I wonder if this one's been fitted wrong. But it might be that one of the others is okay, it just needs fitting better. You know, if I could just order one at a reasonable price, I'd just get one, but it's not the case in this country. I never ran this carb. Oops. Yeah, it just wasn't fitted right. But it's scrapped because it hasn't got that piece that would go around the hole. Now this one hasn't got a ball, it's just got an orifice. See, that was very close there, look. Ah, now there's a trick to this, isn't there? Hang on a minute. Oh, blimey, I don't know which things are which now. I imagine they're all the same. So I watched a video and the chap said you have to just get it started. I think what you don't want to do is have it kind of catching on the gasket and pulling it round. But when you've got it to this point, you then press this in like that, which kind of pushes it out, so you got a better chance of capturing it. So now I've got that pressed in, I'll tighten the screws up. That works okay, doesn't it? Now that diaphragm in my carb, when it was fitted in my parts, first of all, it didn't work like that, did it? So that works. Cool. Well, that was an easy fix, wasn't it? I think just taking it apart and putting it back together would have fixed it. As it turns out, I've took it apart and put it back together, but used this different housing. Not that that would have fixed it, but just because that was what I got in my hand. Oh yeah, I'm like an expert. You know what an expert is, don't you? A drip under pressure. Has been drip under pressure. Okay. Nice. That was an easy fix, wasn't it? Right out. I will have a look, see if the new ones are available, reasonable price in this country. Okay, that'll do for now, because I'm waiting for that part in the ultrasonic cleaner, so take care of yourselves and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye.